Yo, what is up, everybody? Chris here from Fake Sports News, back at it again with another video. Today, I'm going to be bringing you guys a quick recap as what happened during today's matches of day 3 of CDL Champs, that, of course, being pre-championship Sunday, as well as what you guys can expect during our one match today, that, of course, being Championship Sunday. So, first of all, I have to say, I believed in my guys, and they got it done. You could do a 2-phase up, all that jazz. Looking at our first matchup, you guys know I was expecting FaZe to win 3-1 over the Empire, but to my delightful surprise, FaZe was able to sweep the Empire, and they looked absolutely dominant when they did it. RC's had a 0.93, Abizi had a 1.11, Salim had a 1.59, and Simp had a 1.5. And then on the Empire side, Vivid had a 0.85, Krim had a 0.67, Illy had a 0.78, and Shotzi had a 0.91. So on the FaZe side, like for me as an Atlantan, this was very encouraging. This is exactly what we wanted to see. Game 1, they got off to a roaring start. Salim had a 2.2 KD, Simp had a 1.92, and they won Gary Hardpoint 250 to 118. They were absolutely frying. Salim was going crazy. Then the game 2, Raid S&D. FaZe was able to win in around 11. Simp and Cell dropped 10 kills each. They both went 10 and 7, and that's why they were able to win the map. Krim and Illy brought it very close. Of course, Illy had a 1.17 and Krim had a 1.25. It just felt like they were doing everything all over the map and, yeah, making impactful plays. And then in the raid control, that, of course, being the last map of the series, obviously, Abizi had a 1.5, Sol had a 1.24, and Simp had a 1.3. So what can you do there? The only player on the Empire to go positive was Shotzi with a 1.17. And, you know, there it is. And like I said initially, looking at the series stats, RC's, of course, had a 0.93. I mean, you don't really have to do a lot when Abizi has a 1.11, Cell has a 1.59, and Simp has a 1.5. There's only so many kills in the lobby. And then looking at the Empire side, everybody went negative. So, you know, it was just a case of FaZe being in final form and Empire being out of form. And that was really the explanation for this series. So in our next series of the day, we, of course, have the Toronto Ultra taking on the Minnesota Rocker in our final Battle of the North of the season, definitively, because the loser of this was set to go home. So looking at the map 1, that, of course, being Checkmate Hardpoint, this was a 250 to 83 stomping in favor of the Toronto Ultra. Vance had a 1.5, Cammy had a 1.15, Kleenex had a 2 KD, he went 30 and 15, and Insight had a 0.7, which is like the lowest KD that Insight's had in a minute. So Ultra was just playing really, really well. And then on the Rocker side, Sandy was the only player to go even. Priest at a 0.4, Attached at a 0.6, Major at a 0.8. So just a rough go for them. And then they got it back in the game to standoff S&D. Insight had a 1.17, Cammy had a 1.14, and Bance and Kleenex had matching 0.88 KDs. But on the Rocker side, Sandy had a 1.14, Major had a 1.29, Attach had a 1.25, and Priest had a whopping 0.25 KD. So just an off series for him. Really tough. And, you know, everybody else played very well on the Rocker side to kind of support that, but they had to really do a lot to kind of counteract Priest's lack of presence on the map. Then in the map 3, that, of course, being Raid Control, this started a back-to-back Raid set. Insight had a 1.14, Bance had a 1.03, Cammy had a 1.2, and Kleenex had a 0.9. And Jesus Christ, Kleenex had like 80 engagements. Jeez, the guy had 78, close to 80. But looking at the Rocker side, Sandy had a 0.78, pretty low KD for him, very uncharacteristic. Major had a 0.75, and then Priest brought it back. He had a 1.2, and Attach had a 1.15. The crazy thing about this is at one point, Priest was like 4 and 11, I think, in this map, and he finished 37 and 30. So yeah, that's like 33 and 19, which is crazy. That's a crazy game stat line, but to turn your game around to that point is just unheard of. And looking at the map 4, Rocker, of course, won this 250 to 188. This was, of course, on Raid Hardpoint. As I said, this was a little Raid set back-to-back. Insight had an even KD. Cammy had a 0.65. Kleenex had a 1.09. Vance had a 0.43. And then on the Rocker side, everybody was positive. Sandy had a 1.47. Major had a 1.29. Priest had a 1.31. And Attach had a 1.11. So they were just world starring Ultra the entire map. They played really smart. Like, there were a few crucial plays. I think they chained P2 into P3, which is brilliant. Attach went and got spawns, and they played really well from there on out. And that's what helped them to close out this map, which really helped them get momentum going into the game 5 on Moscow. that being a Game 5 victory for the Toronto Ultra behind a really strong performance from Kleenex. The guy went 10-5, and he was in control of the map the entire time. Insight had a 1.14, Bance had a matching 1.14, and Cammy had a 1.17. So his support was there, and that's what helped him win this map. And sadly, on the Rocker side, the only player to really contribute meaningfully was Major Maniac with a 1.43. Everybody else went negative, and this ended Rocker's run at this tournament. They had an incredible season. They obviously placed fourth at Champs after coming into the year, being a pretty solid, like, top 6 team. They were pretty much always in that number 6 spot, really from Major 2 on, since they had better placings than Thieves and, of course, Florida early on. But yeah, they brought it together towards the end of the year and became a top team. I mean, they were without a doubt a top 4 team going into this. And if you're the Minnesota Rocker organization, that's a successful year, right? You're always in contention, and they won a major. So they had a very, very successful season. I think they probably will keep a large percentage of this roster. The only thing that I could see changing is maybe getting another player for Major Maniac, but I don't even know. Like, the way this team was playing, Major Maniac was playing so well. He played so well all champs long. This is just a really good team. I wouldn't mind seeing them run it back. They were like a really solid, fundamentally sound team. So great showing from the Rocker, but even better showing from the Ultra, obviously, since they walked away with the series victory, which leads me to our next series, that, of course, being the Losers Finals. So in the Losers Finals, as we all know, we had the Dallas Empire versus the Toronto Ultra. And if you guys watched my video, of course, yesterday, you know that I was picking the Ultra to win if they saw the Dallas Empire. I thought the Rocker would beat the Ultra 3-2, and then the Empire would beat the Rocker 3-1. But I realized that if the Ultra got through, then they'd probably beat Empire in Game 5, which is what ended up happening yesterday. So looking at, of course, the map 1, that being Gary Hardpoint, Empire got off to a roaring start, winning 250-141, behind strong performances from Shotzi, Illy, and Krim. Of course, Krim had a 1.44, Illy had a 1.4, and Shotzi had a 1.5. So really strong performances from them, and the only player on the Ultra to go positive was Kleenex with a 1.04, so he's just a smidgen positive. Looking at the map 2, that of course being Standoff, Search, and Destroy, it was a 6-3 in favor of the Ultra. This is where they rebounded and kind of stabilized in the series. And then looking at the map 3, that of course being Raid Control, it was a 3-2 in favor of the Ultra. This one went down to the wire. It was really, really exciting. And honestly, it was one of the best controls that we've had this year. It was so back and forth up until the end. I really thought Empire would win it, just with the way the momentum was going towards the end of the game. The way Shotzi was playing, Illy, everything. But the Ultra, they're just clutch, man. The guys have ice in their veins, and they brought it back in this Raid Control, and they won it 3-2 behind really strong plays from Cammy. I think Cammy got the last few kills to seal the deal, but Empire almost brought it back and won. So great showing out of Ultra, great show of composure. And of course, in the game for Raid Hardpoint, the Empire responded, showing their composure. They won 250-248. And actually, I'll just show you guys a small clip of what happened. It was a crazy comeback. They came back down like 160 to like 240 or something.
Seconds left in the point. Plenty of time for both of these maniacs to contest over, and it is far from over yet. We are witnessing a breakdown, friends. 10 seconds now for Dallas Empire. They've taken the lead. Ultra, you've got to go, and it's Cammy at the helm. Give him the spear. He drives forward. Oh my! It's far from over. Here comes Krim. No! An open field. Bans. The foot race is on. 5 seconds for the win and counting. Here come the streaks. And oh my God, we go back again! The pendulum keeps swinging! It is a non-stop war on the point! And now, we got a Game 5!
Now, looking at the map stats, of course, Vivid had a 1.26. It was really his map. He was in control the entire time. He was streaking from the very start, and he was the most impactful player in this map, in my opinion. Every time you saw him, he was pushing spawns for next, or, he was getting early rotations going, or he was leading the break. He was just playing his entry role so well, and it was reflected in his stats, of course. Then on the other side of the leaderboard, you, of course, had Illy and Shotzi with matching 1.15s. They were absolutely making a huge impact on the map. And even Krim was making a big impact, obviously. You don't win if everyone isn't making an impact. Looking at the Ultra side, Insight had a 1.09. Cammy had a 1.03, Kleenex had a 0.74, and Vance had a 0.79. So tough go of it for the sub duo on the Ultra side, and that's ultimately what lost them the game. But looking at how much they're outslayed, the fact that they were able to bring it to a 250 to 248 scoreline with both of your subs dropping 0.7s is actually really, really impressive. But enough rambling about that. Let's get to the last map of the series, the last map of the Empire season, that of course being the Game 5 on Express, that being an S&D. The only player to really perform well on the Empire side was Shotzi with a 1.14. Somehow they were able to win 3 rounds, even though Ultra was really dominating and holding mid-map control the entire time. It was just really behind strong clutches from Shotzi, and I believe Krim at one point. But Shotzi is just in his bag. And sadly, he had no help from Illy and the others, but he was playing to stay alive. So hats off to him, and hats off to the Ultra for pulling this out, right? Insight had a 4.5 KD. The guy went 9 and 2. Vanta had a 2. Kemi had a 2. And Kleenex had a 1.5. So they were just frying. And, you know, this was to seal the deal and cement themselves as the second best team in Cold War. So well deserved from the Ultra side. Looking at the stats, of course, Vivid had a 1.02 to finish off their season. He had a very solid series. Krim had a 0.89. It was just a very lackluster series for him. Illy had a 1.01. Illy was very impactful. He played very well. And Shotzi, I mean, what couldn't be said about Shotzi today? He was doing it all. He was trying to keep them in it. And, you know, they just ran out of gas or what have you. Looking at the Ultra side, Insight had a 1.1 KD. He was frying the entire series. Well, not the entire series, but most of the series. Vance had a 1.02. He was playing very well, playing that supportive SMG role very well, complimenting Kleenex well. And then Kemi had a 1.01, and Kleenex had a 0.89. But Kleenex just had a lot of engagements. So there it is right there. He was just playing really, really fast COD. I mean, he was just trying to take the fight to Empire, and he was getting very impactful kills. So he played really well, and he played really smart. Now, looking at our grand final tomorrow, we, of course, have the Toronto Ultra taking on my home team, the Atlanta Faze. You guys know I'm phasing up all the way. I'm backing my boys to win at 5-3, as you guys can see on the screen. And I think Faze walk away with it here. I think their map pool is just too deep, and I'm going to go a little bit more in depth right now. Now, I may be wrong here, but I think that the team coming from the winners bracket side, I think the advantage that they get is they get like 2 vetoes and the other team doesn't get any. Or if the other team does get it, they get 1 veto and the other team gets 3. So with that in mind, I'm assuming that Faze, with their vetoes, they're going to ban Raid Hardpoint and Raid S&D, as they are 1-3 and 2-2 against Ultra, respectively. And ironically, those are the maps they have the worst record against Ultra on, with the most reps. Express their own 1, but they only have 1 rep there. And then conversely on Checkmate, they're 1-1 in Hardpoint, but they only have 2 reps there. So looking at it, that's their glaring weakness against the Ultra in this matchup. Every other match, they're either 1-1 or, you know, they've only played it once. Like Checkmate Control, they're 0-1 against Ultra. That's one of their better maps, but they've only played it once against them. And on the season, they're currently sitting at 3-2. So they're pretty good on the map. It's just the matchup doesn't favor them well. So that's why I say that Raid, S&D, and Control are the only 2 things I can see Faze banning out, just insta-banning off the bat. Those are their only 2 glaring weaknesses. Maybe an APOC makes it through. That's a map that they're not too strong on, although they have beaten Ultra on it. So I think no matter what they play tomorrow, I think Faze wins the series. There are a few maps where they have overlap. Obviously, Raid is a very strong map for the Ultra. So if that comes up anywhere in the series, that's always going to be somewhat of a toss-up. But I think that Faze likely ban the Hardpoint and S&D in the series, so I don't think they'll play them there. I think Gary comes up, but they're a very strong Gary team, as is the Toronto Ultra. Ultra is a very strong Gary control team, so if that one comes up, that's one that I could see the Ultra realistically taking. And in terms of the S&Ds, I see the Ultra realistically being able to take Express and Standoff if they appear, and they don't get vetoed, as well as Miami. So those are some to watch out for. But every other map is very strong for Faze. So that's why I think a 5-3 is a realistic call going into that series. But realistically, I don't think that it goes to a map 9. I mean, Ultra could play up tomorrow, but there just aren't a lot of maps that statistically are strong for them in this matchup. And that's why I think it ends in 8. But we'll see what happens tomorrow. I hope you guys enjoy all of the COD. I'll give you guys a super, super quick, like, recap of what happened, of course, today during Championship Sunday, sometime later in the week, maybe Monday, maybe Tuesday, maybe Wednesday. Depends on how my work schedule looks. But yeah, this has been a great season. Thank you for all the love, all the likes, all the comments, all the interactions, all the feedback that my friends and other viewers have given me. You guys are helping me make this channel the best that it can be. And we have some really exciting things on the horizon. So look out for the website and everything to be relaunching in the off season. And look out for everything we have to come. We are connecting gaming with some very, very innovative tech things, the things I do during my 9 to 5. And yeah, I hope you guys are ready for it. Very exciting things on the horizon. And you know me, if you know me in real life, you know I'm a very enterprising dude. I don't believe in doing anything half-ass. I believe if you're going to do something, you got to do it and do it big. And you got to make an impact. So I hope you guys are ready for what comes next. And yeah, thank you guys for all the support. It's been a great season. Hopefully FaZe can win the chip, bring Atlanta a chip. We are down bad. We are down atrocious. And we need that. So I hope you guys enjoy all the COD today, no matter who you're supporting. If you're an Ultra fan, get the hell out of here. No, I'm kidding. But if you're an Ultra fan, I love you. If you're a FaZe fan, I absolutely love you. And if you're a Dallas fan, I'm sorry. But yeah, guys, I'll just about do it for me. Thank you once again. All jokes aside for all the support. I'm so humbled by it, and I'm just so grateful to be in this position to keep making these videos and, you know, knowing that people are enjoying them. So yeah, I'll catch you guys on the next video. Enough of me like doing my mushy gushy stuff, but thank you and peace, guys. I'll bring you one more video to close the season out, but thanks for a great season, and I can't wait for the next one. Vanguard is going to be an absolute madness. So peace out, guys. Once again, this is Chris from Fake Sports News signing off for the final time this season. Hope you guys have a great morning, noon, or night wherever you may be on this beautiful planet. Bye, guys. Enjoy the off season and stay safe and keep grinding. Peace out, everybody.